Devils' undefeated season has ended. Did the loss at home expose a flaw in the Duke system? Deep into the season, starters are playing big minutes against intense competition. Tonight, ACC newcomer Virginia Tech sees Duke as ripe for the picking, as the Hokies are the hottest team in the league. The Blue Devils are home, and the fans will keep J.J. Redick, Sheldon Williams, and the rest of the Blue crew pumped up from tip-off to final whistle. Virginia Tech takes on second-ranked Duke and the Cameron Crazies, now on ACC Sunday Night Hoops. Back-to-back home games since 1996, and in front of the 218th consecutive sellout tonight, Duke looks to start a new streak as they will take on the Hokies of Virginia Tech. But on Wednesday night, Duke had their 15-game win streak snap, but as you can tell, they've been very resilient in their history following a loss. But they'll have to do it against a team that's the hottest team in the ACC, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Hello again, everybody. Along with Dan Bonner, I'm Ron Thulin. Dan, we have the #2 team in the country, but it's Virginia Tech who's captured everybody's attention.
They sure have. They're a fun team to watch. They play hard. They play well together. They really have been a surprise, but now that they've lost the element of surprise, it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Well, Virginia Tech is not a very big basketball team, so you would have to think one of the key matchups tonight will be Sheldon Williams of Duke taking on Coleman Collins of Virginia Tech.
No question, Ron, and it's going to be very interesting watching these two guys face off. Of course, everybody knows Sheldon Williams, a veteran player, solid season all year long, solid numbers against Maryland, but only 6 for 15 shooting. He's going to look to bounce back. His opposite number, somebody nobody knows. Coleman Collins, the sophomore, absolutely outstanding the other night against Virginia in what was probably the biggest game of his career. It's going to be fun to watch him in this atmosphere.
All right, let's take a look at the rest of the Staples starting lineup. Now, this lineup for Seth Greenberg at Virginia Tech is 9-1. They start one senior, and that is Carlos Dixon, 3 sophomores, Dowdell, Gordon, and Collins, and a freshman in Durham, Washington, one of the top freshmen in the conference. Now, as we take a look at Duke's starting lineup, sponsored by Staples, the big 3 have all started the 16 games. J.J. Redick, Daniel Ewing, and, of course, Sheldon Williams. Now, the big key here, Chevlik Randolph is getting the start instead of Sean Dockery. And, of course, Lee Melchione will also be making his 8th start. And the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils picked up his 700th victory earlier this year. Coach Mike Krzyzewski, outstanding record, 25 years here at the school. And in his 2nd season for Virginia Tech, Seth Greenberg, 15 seasons as a head coach at Long Beach State. University of South Florida prior to this has done an outstanding job with this Hokie squad. 15-14 last year. And, of course, this season, the big surprise. Third member of our broadcast team tonight is Krista Voda. She's on the sidelines. Krista.
Hey, guys, none of the players we'll see on the court tonight were born the last time these two teams met. It was 1978. Duke won by 7. But, hey, here is something you don't hear very often. Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski with a losing record. That's right. He's 0-1 versus Virginia Tech. But if you did the math, you know that was when he was back at Army. Either way, Coach K going for his first win versus Virginia Tech. So is Coach Greenberg, his first win. Looking for it against Duke in his very first meeting with the Blue Devils. Guys.
All right, Krista, thanks for that. Hope to see you throughout the game. Now, let's first of all talk about the Dodge game plan, Dan, because there are a couple of keys in tonight's contest.
Virginia Tech has to get easy stuff, particularly points in transition, and they have to deny that to the Duke Blue Devils. And for Duke, we've talked about their big 3, but if you look at the numbers against Maryland, Daniel Ewing an off night, and I'll tell you what, to compete in the ACC, Redick, Ewing, Sheldon Williams all have to have big nights, night in and night out.
Well, that's what Coach K said. He said if those 3 do not play at the top level, we are not going to win. Now, the first 4 minutes of this game before the first timeout, talking to the Virginia Tech coaching staff, a lot of them felt if they can get to that first 4 minutes, not that they're going to win or anything, they don't want their players looking like deer in headlights at that point. Do you agree?
I think it's very important when you come in here, particularly a team like Virginia Tech, all these players in here for the first time. You see the series history there, but all the players from Virginia Tech in here for the first time, it's important how they react.
Collins and Williams on the tip. And Daniel Ewing, the senior out of Missouri City, Texas, Willow Ridge High School.
And right away, Virginia Tech in the man-to-man. And the guy who's matched up man-to-man against Sheldon Williams is Durham, Washington. Dowdell kicks the ball right there, and that is a very interesting matchup. Durham Washington 6'7", 190. Sheldon Williams 6'9", 250.
And Durham Washington just a freshman, just 18 years of age. Ewing looking inside. Williams throws the elbow, gets away with it, gets his first 2 of the ball game. Sheldon Williams, a junior out of Forest Park, Oklahoma, Midwest City High School. Virginia Tech quickly down court. Williams with his first rebound and leads the conference in that category. And here comes Ewing. Wide open look. Melchione can't get it.
Well, one of the reasons he was so wide open, he was about 6 feet behind the line.
Little give and go. Ewing has it poke checked away. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Duke. Sheldon Williams with the first 2 of the ball game. We talked about it top of the show.
And Virginia Tech, a smallish lineup out there. And this is Durham Washington can't do any more than that. Gets himself in good position. And what the official has to decide is, did Sheldon Williams really knock him down, or is that a flop by Durham Washington? That's a difficult decision to make. That time they decided there wasn't enough contact there to merit a foul. But that is going to be a very important issue inside, is what Sheldon Williams is able to do.
Jamon Gordon working on Reddick. Collins from 15 doesn't get it. Rebound controlled by Duke.
And we talked about coming in here and playing in here for the first time. It's important for Virginia Tech that one of those balls go in the basket real soon. The longer you go with that ball bouncing around and coming out, the harder it gets to stick one in the goal.
Well, Jamon Gordon gets whistled for the infraction.
Gordon is a tremendous defensive player. He's matched up against J.J. Reddick. Virginia Tech will come after you now. They will guard you.
Gordon leads the ACC in steals. From the left side, Reddick, no. Randolph has it rejected. Whistle and a foul underneath. We saw Virginia Tech push the ball quickly up court after a miss. Can they afford to do that, or do they need to shorten this game down?
I think they need to get the ball quickly down the court, sort of an opportunity kind of break. If they get an easy shot, they have to generate it, take it. But I think making it is important. Shavlik Randolph going to the line. His size in there may be something that is going to be real difficult for Virginia Tech to deal with.
Of course, Shavlik Randolph having the problems with mononucleosis, missed a couple of games. He's back into the lineup. And one of the things that Coach K wanted him to do this year is learn to play without fouling. He says they're going to be an environmentalist when it comes to fouls this year. Williams, the rebound, the putback, counted, and they'll go to the line.
And he just jumped right over top of Durham Washington. We mentioned Washington, 190 pounds, just not strong enough to block him out. Williams he just overpowers Durham Washington. It's Coleman Collins, excuse me, that he sneaks by. Collins didn't do a very good job blocking him out. Washington went down to the floor. But Williams, that was quickness. He just bowled right by, stepped right by Coleman Collins, and then established great position inside.
Third straight year, Sheldon Williams' points, rebounds, and field goal percentage has gone up. And it's a 5-0 Duke lead. Virginia Tech in need of a hoop. Not going to get it. The tip won't go. The second tip won't go. Randolph had it, comes up with it, whistle and a foul. This is exactly what the Virginia Tech coaches hoped wouldn't happen. They didn't want to get in some type of panic mode, but you said it, Dan, they have to get that basket. Can't let it be bouncing around like that. Seth Greenberg working the officials, saying, give us a break. Melchione. J.J. Reddick works off a great pick. Doesn't get it. Rebound controlled by the Hokies. Collins. Williams is in on it again, and he ties up Collins. And the possession arrow will belong to Duke. Oh, it belongs to Virginia Tech.
Jamon Gordon really doing a nice job pressuring that shot. Good block out by Collins, but Sheldon Williams, he battles and gets in there.
Good pressure, and Virginia Tech's going to have to burn a timeout. Well, in the early going of the conference season, they were blown out by North Carolina by 34 in that ball game. Kind of an eye-opener.
Kind of an eye-opener for the Hokies. That game was at home. They then lost by 7 to Florida State in a game they thought they really could have won. Then you see the 4 victories The margin of victory there, 2-1, 1, and 6. That's not a great margin of victory, but they play hard. When they can keep it close, they generally are able to make plays at the end of games. The problem that they're having so far today is they've actually had some pretty good looks at the basket. The ball just hasn't gone in. You can see the Hokies 0 for 5.
Well, this isn't a great shooting team, Virginia Tech. They come into the year shooting about 44%. They were about 40% last year. We've got a whistle on another foul. That's going to be on Ewing. And one of the things that Virginia Tech, Seth Greenberg, wanted to do this year is get the ball in the hands of the right people and the right people in the right position to score to up that shooting percentage.
Well, Dowdell and Carlos Dixon are both legitimate threats from beyond the three-point arc.
Here's Xavier Dowdell, the sophomore out of Florida. At 21 versus North Carolina, 20 versus North Carolina State. He can score.
It's a tough matchup for J.J. Redick.
Inside, the slam totally rejected, but we'll have a whistle and a foul. Deron Washington went up big time, had it blocked. But we've got a foul. Pretty gutsy move by the freshman out of New Orleans.
Now, Virginia Tech, they're not going to back off. Deron Washington going hard at the basket. Sheldon Williams called for the foul sort of on the follow-through, but it's difficult if you're a shot blocker to not follow through when the other guy's attempting a dunk.
Virginia Tech looking for their first points. And Deron Washington, the freshman, 6'7", 190 pounds, will step to the line. 64% on the year, a very athletic player. At 14 versus Virginia, that snapped kind of a two-game little mini slump for him.
It really helps the Hokies offensively if he can score effectively.
Averages just a shade under 9. He gets the Hokies on the board with 7:55 here in the opening 20 minutes. Dan Bonner, Chris Devon, Ron Thulin coming your way from Cameron Indoor Stadium. On a cold and chilly night in Durham, North Carolina.
Another interesting matchup man-to-man wise. Carlos Dixon outguarding Daniel Ewing.
There's Williams. They showed the double with Collins sneaking behind is Randolph, and he's going to be fouled. They tried to put the double on Williams, and Shevlik Randolph noticed it right away.
But it's difficult to execute the double team that far from the basket. If you're going to double team Sheldon Williams, it's probably better to do it when he's down low. And no matter where you're double teaming a big guy, you've got to get that double team there so he doesn't have time to turn. If he can turn and look, he's going to hurt you.
Foul was on Collins. That is his second personal foul. Seth Greenberg's going to have to go to his bench and bring in Alan Callaway, the 6'8" junior of Gretna, Virginia.
And that really hurts Virginia Tech. Coleman Collins has become so important to them, not only defensively, but offensively as well.
Callaway hasn't played 2 of the last 3 games. Randolph gets the roll. And here comes Sean Dockery will come into the lineup. Shevlik Randolph will take a seat. Dockery, the normal starter.
Duke started the season with the lineup that they... But with Dockery on the bench is what I'm trying to say. Dockery came off the bench for the first couple games in the season, but in that Davidson game early in the season, Dockery played very, very well in a non-starter's role and has started every game since then. But Mike Krzyzewski, after that loss to Maryland, looking to shake things up a little bit.
And that foul is on Dockery. It'll be Virginia Tech's ball, 17:35 and a half. They trail by 5. Fabian Dowdell working out front. Dockery meets with him.
That was Coleman Collins out of the game. Oh, ball just went right through Dowdell's hands.
Easy 2, and it's a 7-point Blue Devil lead.
See, and that's the kind of play you absolutely can't give up in here to the Duke Blue Devils. When they get those easy baskets, they get the crowd going. It just makes it very difficult for you.
Dowdell being hounded by Dockery. Good pressure defense by the Blue Devils.
Now look at how far away from the basket they're pressuring the ball.
No one has shot above 50% against the Blue Devils. Dowdell gives it off inside. Yes, the 2 by Jamon Gordon, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Give you some idea of the strength of Jamon Gordon. He had to get past Melchione, and I thought he'd waited too long, but he was able to force it up through Sheldon Williams and get the hoop.
Redick gives it up to Dockery. They're giving him plenty of room. He takes it, does not make him pay for it. Rebound controlled by Callaway.
Nice job by Duke to pressure the pass off the rebound and get back quickly on defense.
From way outside the three, nothing but the bottom of the net. To two, Dowdell.
Dowdell is a very effective outside shooter. Good screen to get him loose, and Virginia Tech has done a nice job. They were down early, but they're crawling back in the game.
Talked about that first 4 minutes of the game, and you're within 3 to the #2 team in the country. That's a positive sign, but Williams on the inside with the easy two again.
Nice job by Duke to create a lot of room for Sheldon Williams inside. Virginia Tech simply can't guard that, and Jamon Gordon's going to get called for a pushing foul.
15:55. Dockery came up with a steal and the easy two. Duke has a lead by 5, 11-6. Duke has a lead by 5. Wins the net against Maryland. They missed 12 of their first 13 field goal attempts, but that was not the main reason that Blue Devils lost Wednesday.
Loss was disappointing in that we felt that Maryland played harder than we did. And I think you can get a little bit comfortable as you win and you forget what goes into winning. You know, the preparation needed for each win, especially in conference play.
Mike Krzyzewski has always been a big believer in the mental aspect of that preparation for conference play. One wag said that after that loss to Maryland, the two worst things to be were Duke's next opponent. Boy, that's a nice pass.
Beautiful.
And Duke. They have to practice the next day. So
Patrick Johnson, number 51, the senior out of Grady High School in Atlanta, Georgia, has checked in for the Duke Blue Devils. He's right in the middle. That'll be Duke's basketball.
Some real problems for Virginia Tech right now. Not only is Coleman Collins out of the game with 2 fouls, but also Jamon Gordon has gone to the bench with 2 fouls. So this is a Virginia Tech team that doesn't go very deep, and already they're forced to go too deep into their bench. And as you mentioned, Alan Callaway hasn't played in 2 of the last 3 games.
And Marquis Cook is also coming to the lineup as Duke goes inside again. That was one of the keys in that Maryland game. If you look, they went inside a lot of times against the Terrapins, but came up empty. Tonight, we've already seen Sheldon Williams have success on the inside.
It's been very interesting. Sheldon Williams matching up inside against Witherspoon for Virginia Tech, and he's used his power in there. That time, Witherspoon was matched up against DeMarcus Nelson, who used his quickness to get by on the perimeter. So Duke creating some matchup problems thus far for the Hokies.
Marcus Nelson, the freshman out of Elk Grove, California, as Williams will come back into the lineup. Patrick Johnson comes in after a little cup of coffee on the floor. DeMarcus Nelson, last 12 games, this young freshman has really begun to catch fire. All his numbers up for the former Mr. Basketball from California. And you can see what he's done. How about the minutes up? Plus 10, just about. That's another rebound.
That is the second time in this game that he has gotten a rebound off of a missed free throw, and now has the opportunity for his second three-point play. Boy, this is the thing that drives a coach absolutely crazy. He just stepped by. That's Callaway down there. Boy, you got to know that Sheldon Williams is next to you and really get into him and block him out. He just stepped right past him.
Well, Seth Greenberg calls him a mountain masquerading as a man. He has 9 points in the ball game, and again, Duke almost getting another offensive rebound.
Now that's the football player King that secured that one.
From the outside, Xavier Dowdell with the 3.
Wait, what an odd lineup in the game for Virginia Tech right at the moment.
You got King, who hasn't played a whole lot this year.
You got Harris, who hasn't played a whole lot this year.
Well, Seth Greenberg trying to get something going from the outside. Ewing hits the jumper, and the lead goes back to 7. Marquis Cook out of Suffolk, Virginia, just a true freshman. And 5 points in that Virginia game, the most in 6 games. King walked with it.
I see he caught the pass, and he's used to catching passes, but after he catches passes, he's supposed to run with the ball. In this game, you have to dribble it. 3 turnovers now for Virginia Tech.
Well, he joined the team back on January the 10th. He's the starting tight end on the football team, and he looks it. But he was a big-time high school basketball player. How about 1,000 points and rebounds in his career? Senior year, he averaged 25 points and about 14 rebounds.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Seth Greenberg told me that Jeff King was going to play against Duke because he was the only guy that Virginia Tech had who could push Sheldon Williams.
Well, we can see it already on the right block. They forced the turnover. That is something Virginia Tech does so well, that they give it right back. The little give and go to Williams on the inside. Count the basket, and Sheldon Williams has 11.
Well, it's interesting because Sheldon Williams in this game, he's got 11 points, but they're sort of not with that back-to-the-basket variety. This is a situation where Carlos Dixon, he's in real trouble now, and you just have to stay away. That's the kind of a foul that's called in transition all the time. But here's Sheldon Williams. That's a basket in transition. He's got 2 baskets just getting offensive rebounds off missed free throws, so he's scored a lot of points, but not really in typical Sheldon Williams fashion.
Well, he got his 1,000th point, and now he's got 1,001. But if you're Virginia Tech, you have Dixon, Collins, and Washington. 3 of your starters with 2 fouls. King, a little pump fake, draws the whistle and the foul. Melchione gets up slowly. Sheldon Williams, the junior out of Forest Park, Oklahoma. Last 4 games, he's averaged almost 19 points and 11 rebounds.
You see scoring his 1,000th point of his career. You know Duke, number 2 all-time in NCAA history, only to the University of North Carolina in terms of number of guys who've gotten to that 1,000-point plateau.
Chris Tucker for the Hokies.
Number 42, Chris Tucker, the sophomore out of Pine Castle, Virginia, checks in.
King has only played 9 minutes this year. That was his first free throw attempt of the season. Second one much better than the first, and that first one looked like a football player shooting.
Yeah, that's a little scary in a game. 9-point Duke advantage. He's played just over 6 minutes. Inside, Williams again. It's a man among boys on the inside.
Well, Virginia Tech has nobody who can guard him. There's just nobody who can guard him in there. That is what we expected to see from Sheldon Williams scoring. He does a great job getting position. King, yeah, he's 256 pounds, but Sheldon Williams is 260, and I think that's a very conservative figure. And he's 6'10". King is only 6'5".
How about he's 6 of 6 from the floor now, 14 points in the ball game. Wow, 14 of your 21 team points. And a sociology major can't get the free throw to go. Marquise Cook working on J.J. Redick, who has been quiet.
And Duke's defense is so good. They really make it difficult for you to run your offense. You've got to be able to make some plays like that. That was a tremendously important basket, I think, for Virginia Tech.
Cook breaks the scoring drought, and the lead cut to 9. Redick looking for his first basket of the game. The off-balance jumper, but he's fouled by Xavier Dowdell. J.J. Redick, the subject of a great article in Sports Illustrated about a week ago. Everybody is calling him probably the best pure shooter in the history of college basketball, which takes Chris Mullin into mind. Do you agree?
Well, it takes a lot of guys into mind. Rick Mount could sort of shoot the basketball a little bit.
Wasn't bad. So you and I are the only two that know Rick Mount. There's something you don't see very often.
The leading pure shooter in the history of the NCAA. Now, see, that's something that you can say definitely. That's an objective figure. Doesn't miss those very often.
That's only his 5th miss of the year. 94% from the line.
No, it's funny. We always talk about the guys who are playing right now, and somebody who's just an outstanding shooter like J.J. Redick. We always want to say, well, the best this, the best that. He's very, very good. But the best covers a lot of ground.
That's right. Sean Harris with the driving layup from the right side cuts the lead down to 8.
Sean Harris is a guy who only averages 7 minutes a game for Virginia Tech. They're playing out there with Tucker as a walk-on, King as a football player, and they're playing in here against Duke.
Williams gives it up to Ewing. Warriors time out his shot clock. Williams will try from 15, his first miss. Melchione, the bank is open.
The moment that King goes down on the floor, Virginia Tech is in trouble. He's trying to draw the charge, doesn't get the call. That hurts the Hokies.
King with a baseline jumper, and he has 3 points in the ball game.
He's made a very positive contribution. You see Duke doing a great job on the offensive boards.
Redick trying to drive, use the left hand, stops him off the back of the iron, and King will come down with a loose rock. He's doing a nice job, but how much gas is in that tank? You haven't played a lot this year. They're running left-handed.
That's the main offensive threat for Virginia Tech in the game right now. And Dowdell doing a heck of a job. It's amazing to me that Virginia Tech is hanging in this game with this lineup that they're using.
Only down by 6. Reddick. Classic catch, shoot, and hit.
He just doesn't need very much room. Dowdell but Gordon before him had been doing a great job staying right in Reddick's face. That time he got open and he made him pay for it.
Reddick now with 3 in the ball game. The lead is 8. 11:45 to play in the first half.
The Hokies now spreading the court. They're going to just try to attack Duke. Attack off the dribble, create some situations inside.
Dowdell trying to get Reddick away from him, short on the jumper, and Duke will run. Melchione on the right. Ewing holds it up. They go inside. No. Chavlik Randolph can't get it to go. Duke is happy because they have an 8-point lead. 11:27 left in the opening 20 minutes.
Timeout on the floor.
ACC Sunday Night Hoops is presented by Staples. That was easy. And brought to you in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by Harley-Davidson Motorcycles. It's time to ride. That is the Duke Chapel on the campus of Duke University. And right now, Duke leads 26-18, but Virginia Tech already 12 team fouls. Seth Greenberg just putting up his hands. Give me some help here.
Seth Greenberg, it was going to be difficult enough, but now he's got 3 starters, each with 2 fouls, and he's going deeper on. I've seen Virginia Tech play 4 or 5 times this year, and he's already deeper on the bench than I have seen in any game this year. Kravendam is in the game for Virginia Tech, and as I say, I've done 5 Virginia Tech games. I haven't seen him play yet.
Well, this is only his 14th appearance for Robert Kravendam. Chavlik Randolph missing the first free throw attempt. 55% on the year, gets the second, keeps his average intact.
And then Sheldon Williams, of course, the ball went in the basket, but Sheldon Williams was, again, in great position for that offensive rebound had there been a missed free throw.
Xavier Dowdell is trying to get something going. Dangerous pass. Dowdell gives it up. Kravendam from the baseline, and he drops it with his first 2 of the ball game. The freshman out of the Netherlands wasn't even recruited and signed until July. Working it back around, they try to go inside.
Randolph does a great job inside, forced the timeout. That is a tremendous job by Virginia Tech to triple team down on Chavlik Randolph. And this is exactly what we're talking about. What happened on the triple team right there? Randolph was not able to turn. Right here, he catches the ball. He's got 3 guys around him, but it's so quick now, he just can't turn and find anybody open.
Okay, if you're Seth Greenberg right now, you have 12 team fouls. You've turned it over 4 times in the ball game. Duke is obviously having their way inside, but you look up and you say, wait a minute, guys, look at the clock. We're only down by 7. Is that something that Seth Greenberg's telling his troops now?
Seth Greenberg knows that they're hanging by their fingernails right at the moment, and he's got to do everything he can to keep the guys in the game. Right now, they cannot make any mistakes. They have no margin for error, do the Hokies of Virginia Tech. When they take the ball up the court on offense, they've got to get an excellent shot every time. You're going to see them spread the court and try to handle a one-on-one penetration situation and go all the way to the basket for the score, kick it out for the jump shot, and hope that they can score enough points to stay in the game, get to the locker room at halftime with the ball game not yet decided.
Reddick leans on the inside, can't get it to go.
And I think that's Dowdell's second foul, or excuse me, Xavier Dowdell. Yes,
yeah, it is.
That's now 4 starters for Virginia Tech that have 2 personal fouls. The 13th team foul called against the Hokies here, and we're not halfway through the first half.
10:49 to play in the first half. 7-point Duke lead. J.J. Reddick, Jonathan Clay Reddick.
Oh, my good heavens. I don't know that I've ever seen that. 2 in 1 game?
I don't think anybody has seen that. He came in having missed only 4 of 93 attempts, and he's missed 2 tonight. Now the crowd giving a little encouragement. Duke only 6 of 15 from the stripe. Normally 73% on the year. Well, we've got a little blood, I think, on one of the players. It's going to be on Sheldon Williams. I think it's on his elbow. They're going to take a look at it.
Well, there may be blood on his elbows, but those elbows have created some bruises for Virginia Tech.
Well, Melchione will come in as they tend to Sheldon Williams' elbow.
Kravendam comes out. He was in there to give King a breather. Your comment about how long King could go was very appropriate. Had to get him out. Kravendam in there giving him a blow.
I'm not saying football players aren't in the best shape, but it's a little different, football and basketball. Cook off Kravendam's hand, does a nice check. Cook checking it away. Harris off the glass.
And let's see who they got.
I think they're going to get.
If that's Jamon Gordon, that's 3 personal fouls on him. Seth Greenberg taking a chance, taking Dowdell out, putting Gordon in, and right away his risk does not pay off as Gordon picks up foul number 3.
And they're going to have to bring in Wynton Witherspoon, a freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia, Berkman High School. They're going to keep him in for the moment. Well,
that's a 2-shot foul. It's the 14th team foul against Virginia Tech, so we're already in the double bonus.
So now Duke can just add to the lead with the clock stopped. But they got to make the free throws.
Well, and this is something, one of the reasons why Virginia Tech is still only 8 points down is Duke has not shot well from the free throw. Only 7 of 17 thus far. So there are a lot of things not going well for Seth Greenberg and his Hokies right at the moment, but this is something that their free throw defense has been pretty good.
Absolutely. Belfioli only 52% on the year, gets the second 9-point Blue Devil advantage.
And now we're in one of these must-score opportunities for Virginia Tech, and the Hokies do not have one starter on the court right now.
Marquis Cook being hounded by Ewing. King tries to rifle the pass inside, uses a little muscle. Yes.
Boy, that was a nice move. Got Sheldon Williams off his feet and took that big body right up into Sheldon Williams, trying to draw the foul. Didn't get the call, but made a nice slick move to the basket.
Shades of Tony Gonzalez when he played at Cal and now with the Kansas City Chiefs. Trying to make a little transition. Does he draw the foul? No.
He gets called for the foul. Boy, that's a nice effort by King. And offensively, he tries to pass the ball inside and then just powers it up, gets Williams off his feet, and then just flicks it up. That's really a nice play. Now, that looks like a guy who scored 1,000 points in his high school career. Virginia Tech's going to run out of guys.
Yeah. Lucas making a living with the free throw line.
Washington in for the Hokies, Sean Docker.
These are the guys who are playing right now. This is what they average per game per year, and this is what they've already played tonight.
You know, you and I were talking earlier today. You said, well, you know, Seth has a pretty short rotation.
Not tonight.
Boy, I tell you, he's pulling everybody out tonight. Well, the lead is up to 9. We're just halfway home here in the opening 20 minutes. Cook dancing around out front, and you also have guys that are not familiar practicing with each other out there. Cook stops. Does he get the roll? No. Reddick fights forward, and our man Jeff King comes up with it.
We'll give Washington some credit for keeping that one alive.
Careless pass into the post by Cook. Williams now posting up on the right block. Didn't see the pass coming in.
He thought Melchioni was going to shoot it. He had great position for the rebound. Sometimes when you're wide open out there, you got to shoot it so you don't confuse those big guys.
Cook trying to set things up. They spread it out. Harris giving it up inside. The easy basket missed. King tries again, and he is going to be fouled. Boy, you cannot miss those point-blank shots.
See, remember early in the game when when Washington had the ball, went in hard for the dunk. If Sheldon Williams was called for the foul, but I guarantee you Witherspoon or Washington remembered that, and that time he tried to baby it up there and missed the shot.
King looked a little stiff on that one. Randolph comes back in for Duke.
This is what we're talking about. Deron Washington goes to the basket. Instead of powering the ball, gives the little fake, and then just, you know, sort of babies it up there and misses it.
5 points for King. Gets the second. Carlos Dixon, his check back into the lineup for Virginia Tech, and we have a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Dixon.
And he's going to get called for his 3rd personal foul.
And he just seemed like he bumped heads with Sean Dockery, because Carlos Dixon is down and Seth Greenberg's arguing his case. Boy, that happened right after the free throw.
Well, and Dixon walked in the game and got his 3rd personal foul. Take a look down here, right there. They sort of run into one. You're right, they did run into one another.
Yeah.
And Dixon reacted by throwing his arm up. They bang heads, and Dixon just throws his arm up, and he gets called for the foul. Oh, that is a very difficult break for Virginia Tech, because the contact occurred when they banged heads, and it was.
And they're calling the technical foul on Carlos Dixon, because I think the arms were raised, intentional. Well, Seth Greenberg doesn't like that call. Boy, they're going to run out of players here. Well, Dixon.
Well, now I'm a little confused right here. That would be whenever you have.
It's an intentional foul.
An intentional foul.
Intentional foul. Dockery will go to the line and shoot the free throw. And he'll have 2. Didn't look intentional to us, I don't think.
Well, I'm not so certain that there isn't some communication problem out there, because the ball was dead. Whenever you have a personal foul in a dead ball situation, that is a technical foul. But you know, that has to be a miscommunication. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's an intentional foul. That's got to be a technical foul, because it was a personal foul while the ball is dead, and by rule that's a technical foul.
Well, the bottom line is he's going to have to sit. Both free throws are made. The lead is at 10 with 9:05 to play.
And no matter what the call is, you're right, he's got to sit down, because he's got 3 personal fouls. You get 2 free throws, and then Duke gets the ball, and Randolph is going to get a shot going over the back. So don't get too focused in on what that foul was, because no matter what the call is, it's 2 free throws for Duke, and then they get the ball and play resumes where it stopped. 1-1 now for Virginia Tech.
Well, they're still only down by 10. Still have plenty of time in this opening half, but they've got to start making the easy shots and making the free throws. They haven't been to the line a lot.
Right, they're down by 10, but they're in serious foul trouble.
From the line, 1-1. 2 points in the ball game. Well, this year, expect the unexpected as Fox Sports brings the Super Bowl party to your house. Our guys will be in Jacksonville, giving you everything you'll need to make your Super Bowl Sunday perfect, with in-depth interviews and analysis, plus performances from Kelly Clarkson, the Black Eyed Peas, and more. It's the next best thing to being at the game. The Fox NFL Sunday Super Bowl 39 pregame show begins February 6th, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 Pacific, in high definition, only on Fox. The lead is at 8. Dockery switching to the hole in the right hand, and he's got it.
Boy, nice move by Dockery. Virginia Tech just hanging on for dear life right at the moment. This is the spot where you see Duke get one of those spurts, and suddenly it's a 15-point game.
Gay from the outside, Cook the rebound, looks for the putback high off the glass. It stays on the rim, and Reddick comes down with it.
That's what happens when you try to shoot it up over Sheldon Williams.
Virginia Tech trying to do some ball hawking now. Ewing gives it up to Reddick. Nice pump fake, dips underneath, can't get the roll. Williams another rebound, and he's fouled.
Williams doing a great job getting position inside. I mean, he gets down there and gets position, and you just can't move him. That's 5 rebounds in the game for Sheldon Williams now.
Well, he had his 10th double-double versus Maryland. Already has double-figure points, looking for double-figure rebounds. You can see what he's done in the 6 ACC games this year. He now has 15 points in this contest.
He has been such a reliable presence on the inside for Duke, both offensively and defensively. And there were a lot of questions at the start of the season about whether or not he'd be able to stay out of foul trouble. Well, he hasn't fouled out of a game all year.
That's right. He was disqualified 6 times last year. And the lead is at 11, closing in on 8 minutes to play in the opening 20 minutes. It's been all Duke in this ball game. Virginia Tech had 3 players pick up 2 quick fouls. They're playing a lot of players that haven't seen the court this year. Witherspoon with the right hand, short out the jumper. Williams just takes it away from everyone. Ewing thinks about it. Looks out the right side. Williams trying to work on that left block. Now he comes across.
That's good defense by Harris.
Pushing the ball way out front. Williams with position. King slaps it away, and it'll belong to Duke. 7:26 to play in the half. Duke with an 11-point advantage at 36-25. And this match is the biggest lead of the game for Duke. It's at 11, 36-25. Dan Bonner, Chris Devoto, Ron Thula with you at Cameron Indoor. As Duke looking to rebound from that loss Wednesday to Maryland. And Virginia Tech, the surprise of the ACC, trying for their 5th straight conference victory.
And the biggest surprise for Virginia Tech so far tonight is they've already used 12 guys in this game.
And there's a bad pass. Virginia Tech had numbers for a second. The pull-up jumper, no. Again, another rebound. This time Ewing lost it. Now Virginia Tech just takes it away with Whitten Witherspoon, and we'll have a foul. That'll be on Ewing.
One of the things that you can expect to see from Virginia Tech, regardless of who's in the game, is they are really going to get after it. This is the kind of shot that has to go if they're going to get back in the game. But nobody panics. Nobody runs away from this play. They just take the ball away and draw the foul. Now the question is, can they make some free throws and hang in the game?
Ewing's out. DeMarcus Nelson is checked into the lineup. The freshman out of California. I'll tell you, Virginia Tech's got to take advantage of those free throws. Talk about fighting, though. That's the way you do it. Washington fought. King's trying to fight for it now. Loose ball. Let's see.
Held ball. Duke's ball on the ultimate possession.
It belonged to Duke.
See, the problem is, as you get this pass to King, Nelson gets his hands on it, then King dribbles the ball inside. Great job by Dockery coming in there, and you expect a football player to come out with the fumble recovery, but unlike in football, you don't get to keep it. It's the ultimate possession. He looks like he's got a cut under his eye.
He does. Looked like a little Jesse James Leha from last night against Arturo Gotti. A little cut work in there. They call the cut man Joe Sosa in to fix that up. 11-point lead inside of 7 minutes for Duke. Whistle away from the basketball, and Reddick comes up hobbling.
He was coming off that screen, and he stepped on King's foot, I think.
When you look at Reddick, and you've been around a lot of great players, but what has impressed me when you look at tape is how he comes off screens. And we got a technical foul on Seth Greenberg. And his brother, Brad Greenberg, trying to step in between, make sure it doesn't say too much, but the jacket is off.
Well, it's been very difficult for Seth Greenberg. He's had 17 fouls called against his team, and he just keeps working and working, and finally he gets the technical foul.
And J.J. Reddick, who's already missed 2 free throws tonight.
But now he's going to get the 2 technical free throws, and the game picks up where it left off, which means he's going to shoot 2 free throws. He's got 5 points in the game.
Oh my goodness. His 3rd miss tonight. And once again, he was 89 of 93 coming into the game. And you can just hear the crowd. It's just like this murmur here.
He's missed 3 tonight. He missed 4 in the previous 16 games.
And you can see leads the NCAA. Much better. Sticks to his routine. Great free throw shooters. You think of Mark Price when he was at Georgia Tech and later on in his professional career, but he's got the dribble, spin, the bounce, the spin, then shoots.
It's been a while since Virginia Tech has scored, and Duke, it's not one of their classic spurts where they score like 10 points in the blink of an eye. But they're gradually pulling away because Virginia Tech can't score. Big basket.
Finally, Durham Washington from the left corner. He's got 6 in the ball game, and the lead is down to a dozen. You and I were talking during the break that Virginia Tech's got to be careful at this point because this is when Duke will pour it on you.
Particularly with this lineup that Virginia Tech is playing.
Washington gets shoved away by Melchione. There's the double team on Williams. Kicks it out. The southpaw Melchione. Shot won't go. Tip won't go. Virginia Tech with a rebound. Ill-advised pass. And diving into the stands is Washington.
you've got to take some risks, I think, if you're Virginia Tech. That pass was poorly thrown, but I think the idea was a good one. 7 turnovers now for Virginia Tech, but that ball's got to be perfectly thrown. Duke actually did a pretty good job getting back on defense. If that's a perfect pass, it works. But I think for Virginia Tech, you're in a situation where you got to take a risk or two.
But you still have to make the simple play sometimes.
No, there's no question, but there's no sense playing conservatively. You're in deep trouble right at the moment. You have a chance to get an easy basket. I don't think it's a bad idea to take it.
Randolph back in. Melchione out for Duke. Inside of 6 minutes to play. Looking for the double. As Tucker comes over to try to get it. Wide open jump shot. Randolph no good. Rebound slapped away. Virginia Tech with the numbers. Finally a basket.
Well, there's Dowdell back in the game. Seth Greenberg taking a chance. Dowdell with 2 personal fouls. Seth Greenberg already has 2 of his starters with 3 personal fouls.
And during the win streak, Dowdell's averaged about 35 minutes a game. They need him in there to be successful. Now Williams working on Tucker. That's too easy.
There's just nothing Tucker can do. Williams did a great job being patient. It was too far away for a double team, and he just backed Tucker down and made the easy play.
17 first half points for Sheldon Williams. Virginia Tech will have it. 5:03 to play. Well, here's the fast break by Virginia Tech a moment ago.
Well, they get the steal, and this is what Seth Greenberg talked to us before the game about, is if they can turn Duke over and then come down and get an easy shot off the turnover, and they've done that a couple of times, but they haven't made very many of them. Xavier Dowdell, however, very, very solid in his ability to make plays such as that one.
There's Dowdell now with the basketball. 5 minutes to play and a half. 12-point lead. He'll try it for 3. Short. Williams another rebound. He's got 6 in the game. Ewing all the way with the right hand.
Virginia Tech that time a little slow getting back down the court. Duke doing a great job running to the proper spots. Easy basket.
7 points now for Ewing. The lead is 14. Cook pulls the trigger for 3. Is that a trap Virginia Tech can't get into?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you're going to shoot that one in transition, fine. But once you get down and set up in the offense, unless you move the ball a little bit, you got no chance at an offensive rebound.
Reddick trying to work off a couple of picks on the far side. Randolph set him. Now they'll redo it. That was a foul, blatant foul underneath. Dockery was decked right into the baseline. That'll be on Cook. That'll be his first personal.
It's hard to imagine that there's a guy from Virginia Tech that at this point only has 1 foul. That's 19 fouls called against Virginia Tech. The fans here are chanting, please stop fouling.
And Sean Dockery, the junior out of Chicago, Illinois, at the line.
And you just don't expect Duke to continue to struggle from the free throw line. And so, as we said, it hasn't been spectacular as you see in here sometimes, but very gradually the Duke Blue Devils are pulling away. .70% free throw shooter. He only gets 1 of 2.
4:05 to play in the first half.
Well, you got to get some baskets now if you're the Hokies.
Dowdell, nice pump fake after the pass. Rebound again, Williams. That's 7 for him.
That's a pump fake, but he didn't put himself in position to score. He got the defense out of position, but then Washington tried that almost a 360 behind the back flip, and that's not a good shot.
The 3 right into the hands of Jeff King. Dowdell for 3. He's short. King can't come up with a rebound. Pokes it away from Williams, but Duke still has it. Reddick, quick shot. Yes.
Wow. The only person in position to guard him was Seth Greenberg. That was right in the lap of the Virginia Tech coach. That's unbelievable.
J.J. Reddick started out slowly, but he's heating it up. He has 10 in the ball game, and the lead is at 18.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Coming up on the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show, I'll be joined by the vet Larry Connolly, the coach Perry Clark. Top 25 teams in trouble. Challenges for the defending national champs UConn and the team they defeated in the title game 1 year ago. Georgia Tech plus Oklahoma State and UW. Conquerors on the road? We'll find out. It's all coming up on the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show. Back to Durham. Ron Thulin, Dan Bonner, and Chris Devoto. Ron.
All right, Mike. Seth Greenberg is managing a little bit of a smile. He's got a technical called on him already tonight, but his team trails by 18, 47-29. Just over 3.5 to play.
Ron, I don't think that's called a smile.
That's a smirk. Those of us, if you have a teenage daughter, you know what that is. It's definitely a smirk. Now let's see if Virginia Tech can do something here in the final 3 minutes. King from the outside. Dowdell tries to fight for the rebound. Reddick throws it off his leg. Dowdell comes up with it. The three. Dowdell fights for the rebound. Sheldon Williams with his 10th rebound of the ball game. So Sheldon Williams with his 11th double-double on the year, and he draws the foul. Now let's take a look at some key first-half stats brought to you by E-Loan. And the first thing is the team fouls. How about 20 for Virginia Tech in this game?
And the free throw numbers, let's see. And Virginia Tech only shooting 37% from the field.
Well, that was one of the classic chants I think we've heard. It's not football by the Cameron Crazies. And Williams misses another. That, of course, in reference to tight end Jeff King. This football team had an outstanding year again for the Hokies. He's actually done a pretty decent job tonight.
Oh, there's no question.
You got to tip your hat to that young man. Williams rattles home the second. 19-point advantage inside of 3 minutes for Duke on top. Cook looking for someplace to go. That swarming defense by Duke here in this opening 20 minutes.
Virginia Tech on offense now, just trying to spread the court to create some openings.
Robendam, the freshman from the Netherlands, draws the whistle in the foul, and that'll be the third personal foul called on Randolph.
Look, Robendam has come off the bench, and he has not been reluctant to shoot the basketball.
Well, they really liked his post skills, this youngster. Already gained about 11 pounds since coming to Virginia Tech. That's something they have worked on, trying to get a little bit thicker. Played on a club team in the Dutch Pro League last year.
All he needs to do is get a little older and get as thick as he.
Yeah.
Much thicker than he wants to get. That's what happens to us.
And he'll have another. Robendam was 2 for 2 from the line this year. And he gets 1 of 2. He has 3 points in the ball game. Tucker will come back in. They're going to give King another breather. Chris Tucker making his 11th appearance this year. But the lead is at 18. Once again, Virginia Tech has played 12 players in this ball game because of that man. Williams, once King goes out, Williams just plants himself in the right box.
Now, even with King in the game, with Coleman Collins out, Virginia Tech just has no chance of guarding Sheldon Williams down inside. He gets great position. There's no defensive help. He just catches the ball and powers it right to the goal. And if you're Tucker in that situation, you just have to leave the man go.
20 points for Sheldon Williams in this game. And he has struggled from the line. And the steal. Reddick gives it right back. Callaway, I should say. Try it again. Melchione on top, and Ewing will set things up, closing in on 2 minutes. 20-point Duke advantage. Tucker just leaning on Williams on that left side. Nelson let it fly. That's a 2. Dowdell has played a lot of minutes in this opening half. He's tried to be the main offensive scorer, not able to do it so far. Witherspoon from the outside. That 3 off the mark. They'll try the running right-hander off the glass. Whistle and a foul. That'll be on DeMarcus Nelson. 1:42 to play in the opening half here at Cameron Indoor Stadium, along with Dan Bonner and Chris Devoto. I'm Ron Thulin with Virginia Tech taking on Duke. 20-point Duke lead. There's been a lot of stories, but the big one for Duke is Sheldon Williams, a double-double in the opening half. Let's set it down to Krista Boda with more on Sheldon Williams. Krista.
Hey, guys, you know, I think Sheldon Williams is starting to slack a little bit. It had been over 11 minutes since he'd gotten a three-point play the hard way. He got his first one a minute 19 seconds into the game, then a couple of more. One actually coming about 13 seconds after another one. He's trying to do this the hard way, but, you know, I think he's slacking.
I don't know, Krista. 20 points, 10 rebounds. We've still got a minute and a half left to play in the first half. If that's slacking, Mike Krzyzewski will take it every time.
He's going to take that. He'll work on that. Now the lead remains at 20.
Boy, Dowdell's got to be careful out there. He's got those 2 fouls. And here's Williams. That's great ball movement.
Redick wide open, misses the 3. Dowdell had it. Redick comes back up with it. Off the glass with the right hand.
Oh, when it rains, of course, Providov was stepped in bounds when he threw the ball in bounds.
But J.J. Redick, great hustle.
Redick misses the wide open 3, and then Virginia Tech simply can't control the rebound. Redick powers it to the goal, and then Virginia Tech steps in bounds while they're making the inbounds pass. So Duke now going to get the ball back.
Let's check in again with Krista Boda. Krista.
Hey, guys, you know, we haven't talked a lot about Jamon Gordon, the sophomore guard for Virginia Tech. It's because we haven't seen a lot of him. Taking a look at the Harley-Davidson leaders, these are players who played 40 minutes an entire game this season. You see Jamon Gordon tied with J.J. Redick, 3 games apiece at 40 minutes. Jamon Gordon came in, had 2 quick fouls called on him. Coach put him on the bench, brought him back out. A 3rd foul. That's why we have not seen Jamon Gordon.
And that hurts when you have 3 of your starters pick up 2 quick fouls each and they have to go to the bench, especially Coleman Collins. Here's a guy we thought would at least try to compete against Sheldon Williams, but he has had to sit. He's right in the middle there. And that has hurt.
Well, Coleman Collins has been an inside force offensively for him. Jamon Gordon and Xavier Dowdell, they're the heart and soul of this team. They really set the tone with their aggressiveness. Gordon is a guy that you just can't afford to lose, and he's been lost to Virginia Tech for most of the first half. And there's Tucker going to pick up another foul against Sheldon Williams.
Well, you try to do everything you can against Sheldon Williams, but he's playing with such confidence right now.
Well, and Tucker out there, you got to look at him. He's 6'7", 220 pounds. He's a walk-on who averages fewer than 10 minutes a game. Krabbendam averages 8.5 minutes a game. We were talking about this before. Harris out there, who's also in the game, as Williams make that one, he averages 7 minutes a game. I mean, it's just they're playing with a patchwork lineup, and you just can't afford to do that against the #2 team in the country on the road. There's Deron Washington, the starter, back in.
Well, Sheldon Williams now 5 of 10 from the stripe, normally about 72% on the year. That's the only place he struggled. Letting the elbows come up, and the fans let him know it. Cook out front. Tucker tries to set a pick. Cook goes around it. And another turnover for Virginia Tech. Uncharacteristic turnover. And they'll come the other way. Final 38 seconds.
Well, it's an uncharacteristic turnover if you've got Dowdell and Gordon in the game, but you don't have Dowdell and Gordon in the game.
Witherspoon tight-roping the mid-court line, and we'll have a whistle and a foul. That'll be on Dockery. Just a reminder, coming up at halftime on our ACC Sunday Night Hoop Show, we'll go back to Atlanta studios where Mike Goldberg, Larry Conley, and Perry Clark will have all of today's college hoop highlights, and Dan and I will break down this first half between Virginia Tech and Duke. At the line will be Winton Witherspoon. Oh, they like this young man. Seth Greenberg says he could be a great player if he continues to work hard. He's got about a 7-foot wingspan. That's his first points of the ball game. Ewing comes back in. Dockery will sit down. Just 18 years old, Witherspoon averaged 24 points a game in high school his final year. 23 seconds. 22-point Duke advantage.
Man-to-man defense for Virginia Tech.
Well, it's now being guarded by Harris. Tries to follow him as he works off the picks. Stops. That's the 3.
And that's the part of his game that has improved so much, the ability to give that pump fake, make a move, and then still knock down the three. Wow.
15 first-half points for Reddick, but it's the Sheldon Williams show in the opening 20 minutes. A double-double for Sheldon Williams. That's why they lead it by 25. Now let's send it back to our studios in Atlanta. Here's Mike Goldberg.
Ron, thank you much, and welcome to the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show. Alongside the vet Larry Connolly, the coach Perry Clark, I'm Mike Goldberg. All number 2 Duke in the first half, but this just in. For the first time in his collegiate career, J.J. Reddick has missed more than 1 free throw in a single game.
Heart attacks in Durham. That's hard to believe that he's actually missed a free throw.
It really is, but he's had a lot of practice.
Yes, he has. And it's interesting, there were a lot of fouls called, and Seth Greenberg, not the happiest of men in the first half of play. We'll talk about that and so much more, and coming up on the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show. Still without their elder. Number 22, Georgia Tech, trying to ride their wake of success at the team that knocked Duke off their perch. Georgia Tech, Maryland, broken down next on the ACC Sunday Night Hoops halftime show.
ACC Sunday Night Hoops is presented by Staples. That was easy. And Duke ended that first half with a 17-2 run. That is why they're up 56-31. Along with Dan Bonner and Chris Devoto, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome you back to Cameron Indoor. It has been all Duke, but Virginia Tech, they have double fouls committed than field goals made.
That's right, 11 field goals, 22 team fouls.
Coleman Collins played only 2 minutes in that opening half, and he is in to start the second half.
And Jamon Gordon played only 4.
You didn't get the scoring from your starters. Collins, though, gets his first 2 points of the ball game.
That is a tough formula to apply to come on the road to Duke and have your bench guys play twice the number of minutes they normally play.
You also have only 4 assists and 10 turnovers. Williams has his shot blocked by Collins. Something that didn't happen in the first 20 minutes. Now let's take a look at our E-Lone halftime statistics. Dan, the numbers that stand out to you.
Well, you look at those team fouls, 22-11. The free throws, Duke with 35 free throws in the first half. They've got this big lead. It could be a whole heck of a lot bigger. Sheldon Williams dominating on the inside. Williams and Reddick combining for 36 of the Duke 56 at halftime.
Well, Duke's season high for free throws was against Oklahoma earlier this year. They shot 32. Their record in history is 61, so they're well on their way to setting a new record. Inside, yes.
Oh my, and Carlos Dixon's hurt. He landed right on his elbow. He's holding his right elbow. He went down, and that took the full brunt. He tripped over, maybe stepped on Melchione as he goes down. Oh boy.
And you can hear it when he hit. And you can hear the pain from Carlos Dixon, and he is still down.
Well, he landed right on that elbow. Melchione had fallen down.
Now they're calling for a little assistance from the Duke personnel, too.
Oh, boy. Melchione falls down, and Dixon just trips right over him and lands hard on that right elbow. That's the first thing that hit the ground was his right elbow, and he is in some kind of pain.
And they have not turned him over yet.
And he also got whacked in the head.
Officials from the Duke medical staff also coming over to help out.
Well, Keith Cook up, he is going to come in the game.
Boy, that is a tough break for this young man, the senior, for Carlos Dixon.
And that streak, that 4-game winning streak in the ACC, he had 2 game-winning baskets, the big steal and the dunk against Clemson, and then the runner against Georgia Tech. He has been a key guy for the Hokies, their leading scorer on the season.
Of course, he didn't play last year because of the broken foot. They had high expectations for him this season. Last 3 games, he has been outstanding, shooting better than 50% from the field.
And making big shots.
Oh, yeah.
Big plays.
Game winners, 2 of the 4 conference wins. Got his 1,000th career point earlier this year. They'll continue to tend to him.
Dixon has been in foul trouble most of the evening tonight. Starts the second half with 3 personal fouls. Seth Greenberg, it has been a very, very tough night. That's just one of those things that happens in basketball, though. Jamon Gordon and Melchioni ran into one another. Melchioni fell down and took the legs out from under Carlos Dixon. They're just falling down. I mean, there's nothing intentional. There's no foul or anything.
Well, they're holding on to that right arm.
I mean, he may have broken the thing.
Well, he's not going into the locker room, though. He's going down to the end of the bench. We hope to get an update as soon as we can on the status of Carlos Dixon. Hopefully the young man will be okay.
He's another one of those guys for Virginia Tech. He's Seth Greenberg's only senior. He plays the game with an enthusiasm that is infectious.
Well, we've played just about 60 seconds here in the opening half. The lead has been cut down to 21. Melchioni out front. Gets away from Gordon. He'll launch the long three.
You cannot be serious.
My goodness. Little backdoor cut rejected, but we have a whistle and a foul.
And that foul's on Shavlik Randolph. He also was a guy who got foul trouble in the first half. He's now got 4 in the game. This is Virginia Tech attacking the basket. Few people do it better than Jamon Gordon. Randolph gets called for the foul, putting the hand on the chest. And Reddick, he is halfway in between the center circle and the top of the key. Just effortless.
You know, we were talking as they were warming up, and I said this again, I've never seen anybody that makes that shot look so easy from that far out. There have been coaches that have said, Tom Izzo up in Michigan State said he can probably shoot a half-court shot as a regular jump shot.
Randolph going out of the game. Well, Reddick, certainly he looks effortless when he's shooting that through.
Gordon misses the second of 2.
The key, I think, to defending Reddick is to make it look like it's a lot of effort to shoot that 3. Get right up on it.
Here he is again. Goes down low to Williams. Only Collins right on him. They let him repost, and he sees the double. Reddick, little touch pass. Melchioni inside.
Boy, that's a good pass by Reddick. You figure Reddick is the guy, you make a couple of passes, he's wide open, he's going to take it. But Duke, with great ball movement, watch the double team come, but Sheldon Williams has time to look, and that's always very dangerous. Reddick makes the extra pass. Melchioni with the wide open shot, but passes it up. That's excellent ball movement.
That's the 4th foul on Jamon Gordon. He motioned over to Seth Greenberg. Leave me in.
That's very frustrating for a guy like Gordon. The competitor that he is. There's Dixon leaving. Just what you talked about. He's going back to the locker room.
Well, Sean Harris comes in. They're going to bring Jamon Gordon out. Marcus Nelson at the line, a young freshman, Mr. Basketball at California, committed to Duke the end of his sophomore year of high school.
Ladies and gentlemen, flash photography is not allowed inside the
17 to play. 24-point Duke advantage. Virginia Tech looking for some type of offense. Dowdell was their main offense in the first 20 minutes. Founded by Nelson. He'll pull up with the left hand.
That's a tough shot, and that's really what the Duke defense has done for the most part, is to force Virginia Tech into tough shots, which is why Virginia Tech only has 38 points and has not shot the ball very well.
Reddick gets a step on Dowdell, gives it up. Ewing for 3. Rebound Coleman Collins. Already showing his presence here in the opening minutes of the second half. Dowdell now mismatched with Melchioni, slips. Tries to split the D. Coleman Collins with the right hand on the follow.
See, and that's the way Virginia Tech can play you. They penetrate into the lane, the defense collapses, and then even though Dowdell missed the shot, Coleman Collins there for the rebound.
Nelson working on Harris. Gives it up. Melchioni will launch the 3. Rebound Harris.
Melchioni has been such a key guy for the Duke Blue Devils with his ability to make that shot. Coleman Collins, a guy who can be very active around the basket. Watch, drive to the basket. The defense comes. Nobody blocks out Coleman Collins. Sheldon Williams just went right to the backboard. And a guy like Sheldon Williams, who rebounds so well, you can understand why he would do that. But if you don't block out a guy like Coleman Collins, he can be extremely aggressive going to the boards.
Well, the good news for Virginia Tech is the foul is on Sheldon Williams. That'll be his third personal foul. John Dockery comes into the lineup for Duke. Melchione will sit down.
Well, you don't want Sheldon Williams in foul trouble, period. But if he's going to be in a little bit of foul trouble, you'd rather have a 19-point lead while he's in foul trouble.
Coleman Collins now with 6, all coming here in the second half. The sophomore out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. And people forget that young man is only 18 years of age. Played as a 17-year-old freshman last year. Lead is 18. Ewing going inside to Williams. No double this time. They're trying to play him straight up with Collins. And he misses.
And that's a good job by Coleman Collins. Make him shoot that little jumper over the raised hand. Cook dribbles it off his foot.
Let's get an update on Carlos Dixon from Krista.
Yeah, guys, Carlos Dixon just walked off the court. They made kind of a homemade sling out of his jersey. He walked out with his arm wrapped up in his jersey. They're going to take him across campus for x-rays. They said they're not really sure if it's his elbow all the way down to his wrist. They're going to do x-rays on the entire forearm on his right arm, guys.
All right, Krista, thanks for the update. We'll stay on top of that situation as it becomes available to us.
And of course, one of the country's finest medical facilities here at Duke University. So you don't want to get hurt anywhere, but you've got some options here.
Reddick sneaks behind everybody in an orange jersey, but misses the easy shot. Here comes Dowdell. Now Virginia Tech has cut 7 off that lead.
Virginia Tech, they are gamers. They are not going to quit. You know, that injury seemed to take more out of Duke than it did Virginia Tech. Sort of took the air out of the crowd. And
well, for the second time, Virginia Tech dribbles it off their foot and they turn the ball over.
Duke doing such a great job playing in the passing lanes. No place for Dowdell really to throw the ball, so it forces a lot of dribbling. 12 turnovers now for Virginia Tech. It's hard to come back in a game like this when you're turning the ball over.
And they only average about 13 a game this year. Nelson sneaks inside, a little reverse won't go. Into Williams, who gets the easy 2 off the glass.
Coleman Collins went for the block, missed, and as soon as that ball gets up on the board and you haven't blocked out Sheldon Williams, he's going to get position in there, and he's just tough to move.
23 now for Williams. Lead goes back to 20. Collins way up front, tries to take Williams off the dribble, can't get it to go. Williams with the rebound. 13 rebounds now for Sheldon Williams to go along with the points.
He's just had a huge game. The one thing Sheldon Williams hasn't done with his normal proficiency is block shots.
Dockery from the outside. Dowdell with the rebound. That's because a lot of the shots that Virginia Tech has taken has been from way outside. He hasn't had a chance to block anything. A little spin move. No. Harris with the follow. Virginia Tech, you called it. They keep fighting.
Well, and there seems to be, Duke seems to have lost some of that defensive intensity that they showed throughout the first half. That long delay we had with the injury to Carlos Dixon. Again, that seems to have slowed Duke down more than Virginia Tech.
Ewing giving it up. Oh, you're right. They have gotten cold from the field.
They've gotten cold from the field, and in the first half they weren't necessarily great from the field on occasion, but their defense picked them up, and there the defense picks them up again.
Now for the second time in the half, Cook loses his dribble. Then we have a whistle and a foul. 14:24 to play in the half. Does Virginia Tech have a prayer? They trail by 18.
Duke leads Virginia Tech by 18. You know, guys, the temperatures may be dropping, but the students' dedication here on Duke's campus, certainly not. We talk about Krzyzewskiville. 2 weeks ago, we saw the 40 tents that were outside. Well, on Wednesday, that number is going to more than double. 60 more tents will be added for the North Carolina Duke game. Those are what those students are waiting for. Tickets, they camp out. Now, parents, you will be glad to know that with the freezing rain that we've had over the weekend, they did get a little reprieve. They didn't have to spend the night. This guy, he's warm. He doesn't need to worry about it. But, guys, they pay all that money for room and board. What I want to know, are parents just shaking their head when their kids are camping out out in a tent outside?
As a parent of a college daughter, absolutely.
Crystal, let me tell you, as the parent of a college-age son, college-age parents spend most of their time shaking their head.
Now Williams with another rebound. Reddick will launch another three. He doesn't get it.
Duke now 2 of 12 shooting in the second half.
Virginia Tech has to take advantage of the shooting you see right there. They've got to make a dent in the lead. It's down to 18. It was 25 at halftime.
The problem is you're trying to make a dent in the lead against one of the best defenses that Virginia Tech has seen all season long. They're doing a great job pressuring the ball.
Virginia Tech trying to spread it out. Dowdell sees a little hole in the left hand, and he's got it.
See, Dowdell and Javon Gordon, who's on the bench, but Dowdell and Gordon are so good at penetration into the lane and scoring off that penetration.
And Dowdell averages just under 15. He has 13 in this ball game.
And that has also sort of slowed the pace of the game down.
Williams fights for the rebound, doesn't get it. Dowdell tips it away. Still loose. Still loose on the floor. Virginia Tech's got it, but it looks like...
Well, somebody's out of bounds over there.
Duke is out of bounds.
It depends on who they rule has their hands on the ball while he's out of bounds.
I think Dockery had his hands out of bounds.
Well, Dockery was definitely out of bounds. Really great hustle after this basketball. Dockery is the first guy with his hand on the ball who's out of bounds, so the ball goes over to Virginia Tech. Now, one of the things that we've seen here in the second half is Duke has sort of forgotten about Sheldon Williams on the inside. You know, you've seen a lot of outside jump shots.
Collins has done a nice job in the second half so far on Williams, but the lead is at 16.
Now, Collins, remember, had those 2 fouls. I think you got to keep the pressure on him by getting the ball inside.
Sheldon Williams has 3, and we've got a whistle as Melchione takes an elbow right to the face. Watch, he takes it right in the head on this one. Ooh.
Bang.
Sure there was no blood. There isn't. 16-point advantage. 21 to shoot for Virginia Tech.
Well, now, who do they call the Duke foul?
I don't know. Now we've got some jawing going on, and they're going to break things up.
Now, Melchione is a very aggressive player, a very emotional player. He's having something to say to Deron Washington. You can see that eye starting to swell.
Yeah. And Dockery steps in between them.
But why did Poe stop? They called a foul on somebody.
I thought it was because they thought there may have been some blood.
Oh, okay.
He pointed to his eye, but there isn't any blood.
So what are you saying? No blood, no foul?
Absolutely. Dowdell on his side. No, we have a whistle before the shot. No basket. It's getting very interesting here. Seth Greenberg continuing to teach and coach. Saw his team down by 25, but he knew that foul trouble did cause a lot of that. That foul is going to be on Ewing. That'll be his 3rd. So Williams now with 3, Ewing with 3.
And Randolph with 4.
Collins working on Williams with the left hand. Can't get it. Rebound into the hands of Melchione.
And that's another example. We talked about how Sheldon Williams doesn't have any blocked shots tonight, but he bothered that shot. He made Coleman Collins change that shot, and he's done that more than a few times this evening.
Collins was looking to draw that 4th foul on Williams. That'll be a touch foul on Sean Harris. Grabbing Reddick. That'll be 3rd on him.
Well, whenever the players start getting at one another, and we just saw the referees break that up in midcourt, the referee is going to now clamp down, try to keep the physical play from getting completely away.
Which is good officiating.
Well, you try to let the kids play. You don't want to be calling everything.
Don't want it to get too chippy, though. Outside, Ewing for 3. Rolls it around, and it drops.
That's a big basket.
Puts him back up by 19, and again, Virginia Tech dribbling it off a foot. This time it's off a Duke foot.
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
A big 3 by Daniel Ewing, and Duke goes back up by 19. Saturday Pac-10 College Hoops returns to the floor when UCLA tries to pull off the upset as they battle the 10th-ranked Washington Huskies. Coverage begins at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Well, it is priceless. It's one of the great venues. Cameron Indoor Stadium, conceived on the back of a match cover back in 1935 by Eddie Cameron and Wallace Wade, although that might be a myth because they've never found that matchbook cover. But it is a priceless experience to be here.
Well, you know, this is Tobacco Road, and I suppose it'd be appropriate to be on
Absolutely.
a match cover.
Officially opened in 1940 as Duke University Gymnasium. They renamed it back in 1972. 19-point Duke advantage. Virginia Tech playing a lot better in this second half than it did in the first 20. Less fouls, more aggressive. Melchione coming way out on Dowdell. Dowdell goes right around him with the left hand. But Melchione comes up with a loose ball.
See, now that's a close shot, but it's a tough shot. Melchione doing a nice job forcing Dowdell to have to go very, very quickly to get to the goal.
Ewing for three. That opens it up underneath.
Well, see, now they're clamping down on Sheldon Williams, and Williams touching the ball really helps things inside.
And Ewing gets whistled for the foul. And Seth Greenberg up off the bench wanting more than that. We've got a timeout. 11:39 to play in the ball game. Things have gotten a little chippy here in the second half. Duke, though, with that 22-point advantage right before the break. We saw Ewing hit the three. Then after he hit it, he comes down, commits his fourth personal foul with a little bit of a shove on Durham, Washington. Then the coaches seem to get into it a little bit, both pleading their cases.
But is it any wonder why both of these teams battle you every second of every game? Their coaches are fighters as well.
I think Seth Greenberg looks down and says, wait a minute, look how many free throws they shot in the opening half.
Now that's in page 2 of the coach's handbook. You have to do that.
Dowdell dishes off inside. Washington can't get it. Last touch by Virginia Tech. Duke will have it.
And those are the kinds of opportunities that Virginia Tech needs to convert. And here's some real good news for Virginia Tech. Entering the game right at the moment is Carlos Dixon.
Yeah. Chris Devoto, what's the update on him?
Yeah, guys, he actually just walked back into Cameron Indoor Stadium a few moments ago. X-rays negative, and the trainer told me they were going to try to get him back in right away, and that's exactly where he's at.
That's a gamer. Reddick with the three. 21 points for J.J. Reddick.
And that may be a backbreaker right there. Listen to this crowd.
Gordon, the spin move, the left hand, and he quiets him momentarily.
And that shot by J.J. Reddick was with Carlos Dixon right in his face. Before that shot, Duke only shooting 27% from the field in this half.
Now Reddick tries to make the move. No place to go on Dixon. That'll be 4 on Carlos Dixon.
Reddick does such a nice job coming so hard off that screen, getting his feet set and shooting the ball.
And around Washington will go out. Jeff King, who had a pretty good first half, will come back into the lineup.
Number 11, Winton Witherspoon.
And also Winton Witherspoon will come in, and Carlos Dixon will go back out.
Carlos Dixon.
It's like he's still favoring that arm, although he's coming out because he now picked up his 4th personal foul.
Reddick stops. Yes, that is sweet.
You know, this game was suddenly getting close, and Ewing made 2 threes, and now Reddick has made 2 threes.
And the lead is back to 26. It was 25 at halftime. Gordon backing down on Reddick, throws up the prayer. King with a rebound, gets tied up with Williams. All belong to Duke. You're right. Those 3 3-pointers have taken the air out of Virginia Tech.
Well, it's actually 4. Ewing hit 2 and Reddick hit 2.
Seth Greenberg was really concerned coming into this game that his team wasn't as tough as they needed to be to survive Cameron and to survive runs like that. Whistle and a foul underneath.
Well, I don't know that tough is the right word to use there, Ron. I don't know that at this point in the development of this Virginia Tech team that they can score a sufficient number of points to survive runs like that. That's how you survive runs. You answer them.
That's right.
Sheldon Williams.
Jeff King picked up his 4th personal foul. And Sheldon Williams will go back to the strike. This February, NASCAR on Fox returns with the 47th running of the Great American Race. 43 drivers will clash in the fastest, fiercest, most high-powered sporting event in the world. Our NASCAR coverage begins with the Daytona 500 Sunday, February 20th, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific in high definition, only on Fox. Williams now with 25 points after dropping them both down. And the lead is 28. It's the biggest of the ball game.
Boy, and that defensive intensity from the Blue Devils is back in a big way.
Gordon floats the three and drops it.
It's Gordon's second three-point basket in ACC play.
His 10th overall. Floater in the lane. This time Duke with Sean Dockery hitting the paint. The lead is at 27. Gordon in a big traffic jam. King fights for it. Last touch by Williams. It'll belong to Virginia Tech.
Sheldon Williams came a long way to get his hands on that rebound. You can see how much Virginia Tech missed Gordon throughout the game as he's played very little because of foul trouble. He is so good taking that ball inside.
Yep. King comes out. Collins comes back in. Collins over Williams. Gordon fights for the rebound. It'll belong to Virginia Tech. Only asking for some help on Gordon. He gets up with the double and they throw it away. Dockery. Oh, what a nice touch. Has it rejected, but we'll have a whistle and a foul.
I think it's goaltending.
Oh, goaltending. Whitten Weatherspoon. What a job, though, by Dockery just poking that away to keep the ball alive.
Well, keeping it alive, and, you know, in a situation like this, you got to poke it just far enough that you can catch up with it, and he was able to do so.
Patrick Johnson's checked in for Duke. Waiting on Reddick. Now Dell with a three. Williams another rebound, and Reddick's going to be fouled. That'll be on Jamon Gordon.
Boy, it's a tough night for Gordon.
That's 5 on him, and he'll take a seat.
That's just a very, very tough night for Jamon Gordon. This is a guy who really has been such a key to this Virginia Tech winning streak that's going to come to an end tonight, just with his intensity, his defensive play, leads the ACC in steals.
Well, he leaves with 8 points in the ball game. Gordon, just a sophomore, leads the team in assists and steals.
Well, he only averages about 10 points a game in ACC play, but his value to this team is measured much more than just in number of points that he scores, and not having his energy and intensity in the game
and his defense
has been a problem.
Well, the lead is 29. It's the biggest of the game. Reddick again. Rebound, Patrick Johnson. Dockery will set things up as we go to 8:45 to play in the ball game.
Man-to-man for Virginia Tech.
Reddick working that baseline. Dowdell picks the pocket of Dockery.
And Dockery's going to get called for the foul. Reddick was actually open coming off the screen. 3 fouls now on Dockery. But Dockery, it's funny, when you're playing point guard, your job is, one of your jobs is to get the ball to the guy who needs to have it at the optimum moment. And at the optimum moment that time for J.J. Reddick, Dockery's executing a behind-the-back dribble. Right here, Reddick is open now. He's got to have the ball. But Dockery's still in the middle of that behind-the-back dribble. It's not just passing to an open guy. It's passing to an open guy at the point that he can do something with it.
Harris off the glass. He's got 6 in the ball game now for Sean Harris.
Harris, 6'4", 220, big guy, and he just used that muscle to bull past J.J. Reddick.
Now Reddick just goes right around him, floats the right-hander. Jackson the rebound, and we have a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Chris Tucker. That'll be his 3rd personal foul, and he'll go back out, and then it's 1-1. 17th foul on Virginia Tech. And at the line, it'll be Patrick Johnson, the senior out of Grady High School in Atlanta, Georgia. Didn't play high school hoops. He was a baseball guy, a big pitcher. Well, they're going to work on that elbow of Dixon. Came back in, played about a minute before picking up his fourth personal foul, went back out and organized it up. I think Seth just
no reason to run him into the game now. Big hand here for Johnson making that shot.
Patrick Johnson, who was technically a walk-on, got a scholarship this summer, though. He's got two. First 2 free throws of the year for Johnson, and he makes good on them. 29-point Duke advantage. Dowdell just lost the handle. King keeps it alive. That may have put a crack in the backboard.
That was a football player shot there.
Sheldon Williams has been the man for the Duke Blue Devils tonight. A double-double in the opening half. And when we come back, Dan Bonner will tell us about the big men in the ACC. Take a look at our Staples game summary. You can see the free throw difference, 41-19 in favor of Duke. Team fouls, 29 against Virginia Tech, 18. And, of course, Sheldon Williams, 25 points, 16 rebounds, a season-best 16. But the big men of the ACC, you start with Sheldon Williams.
Well, I think you do. He's had such an outstanding season for the Duke Blue Devils in a key role. Another guy who's been outstanding is Sean May. You lose sight of the fact with that great team that they have over there. Eric Williams has been great for Wake Forest, particularly over the last couple of weeks. He has become a force on the inside. Look at the numbers here in the middle of the season, big in the middle. Sheldon Williams, you can see they're leading the ACC in rebounds. Eric Williams leads them in field goal percentage, and Sean May second in the league in rebounding. And I'm telling you, those are just 3 guys. You can pick 3 other guys and make an argument for those fellas as well. It's an outstanding season for big guys in the ACC. Everybody talks about guard play, and it has been very, very solid, but some great big guys in this league as well.
What'll be interesting when the All-ACC team is announced at the end of the year. Kylan's got the free throw. The lead, though, is still big 28. Virginia Tech came out in the second half, made a mini run, cut it down to 16. Reddick, though, and Ewing caught fire, and Reddick continues. 27 points in the game for J.J. Reddick, coming off that very difficult shooting performance against Maryland, where he was just 3 of 10 from beyond the arc. Then he had 8 turnovers. Harris goes back door, a little playground scoop. Thank you very much.
Virginia Tech keeps fighting out there, taking what the defense gives them. The back door cut that time. We've mentioned Duke doing a great job overplaying those passes out there on the wing.
Williams working on Collins. Dockery. He knocks home the 3. Wow. 14 for Dockery. So Ewing comes up with a couple of big threes. Reddick with a trifecta. Now Dockery from the outside, and it's a 32-point Duke advantage. Bell gets away from Dockery, floats it over the hand of Johnson. King with a tip, doesn't get it. Williams had it and lost it. Virginia Tech will have it.
It's been a tough night for Seth Greenberg. Foul problems in the first half. Now in the second half, Duke is just lighting it up.
Yeah.
Dockery gets a big hand, as does Melchioni coming out of the game.
Well, Duke 10 of 24 now from beyond the arc. Collins can't get it. Johnson with a rebound, takes it away from Coleman Collins. He wanted the foul, not going to get it.
And Collins limping a little bit as he comes up the court. Well, we talked about the big 3 for Duke before the game. Reddick with 27 points. Sheldon Williams with 25, and Daniel Ewing with 13. So those guys have really done a great job for the Blue Devils. They stopped the game right there because Coleman Collins was limping badly.
Yeah. Don't stop the game. Let's get this thing going. There's 6:03 to play. Duke has hit 8 of their last 10 field goal attempts.
And that was after starting half 2 for 12.
That's right. Nelson, little baseline, leans into Collins. He'll be whistled for the infraction. LACC Sunday Night Hoops returns next Sunday afternoon when number 3 North Carolina travels to Tallahassee to take on Florida State. It all begins with our tip-off show at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific next Sunday afternoon. And Marcus Nelson will go back to the line.
You know, if there is one matter of concern for the Duke coaching staff this evening, it's the fact that Duke really has not shot the ball very well from the free throw line. 24 of 42. And get 25 of 43. Go to the line that much, you like to make just about all of them. Of course, even if you go to the line a little, you like to make all of them.
Cook out front. Working on Nelson, no place to go. Maybe in Dowdell. That's good. Johnson with the rebound. Get a little extended minutes for Patrick Johnson. He's making good use of them. He only played in 11 games prior to tonight. Only averaged about a rebound and a half a game. More than doubled that tonight. Williams, 25 points, career high and season high, 30. 9 to shoot. Ewing leaning in. Right back to him, and he drops it. 15 for Daniel Ewing.
Wow, that's Patrick Johnson, I think, who got a hand on the ball, who tipped it back to him. Nice job by Johnson. He couldn't tip it in the basket, so he tipped it to his teammate.
The left hand won't go. Sheldon Williams, another rebound. That is 17. One away from his career high of 18, and Seth Greenberg has been teed up, and he's gone.
That's the second technical foul, so by rule, Seth Greenberg has to leave. It has been a very frustrating evening for the Virginia Tech coach.
See if he gets his money's worth now. Not saying anything, just giving him a stare.
That's 2 technical fouls, so
he's got to leave.
He is ejected.
Brother Brad Greenberg, experience in his own right, will take over. Now Seth going over to the scorer's table. Let's see if he gets one more word in it. The court amidst the jeers. That has to be very difficult for a frustrated coach to walk by that. Well, J.J. Redick, who's missed 3 free throws tonight, 4 for the season coming into the game.
And you realize that this is the first game of his career that he has missed more than 1 free throw in any single game.
He does have 28 points. Got the name J.J. Jonathan Clay, of course, his real name, Jonathan Clay Redick, because his twin sisters would just say J.J. all the time. And he's going to take a little breathing room. That may be it for J.J. Redick tonight. Started out slowly, but really started to heat it up in the second half.
And this guy here with the ball right now, Dockery's got 14 points in the game, and when they can get double figures from Dockery, they're going to score a lot of points, and if they score a lot of points, they're tough to beat.
Well, you know, Mike Krzyzewski talks about his big 3. Is Williams short on the jumper? King with the rebound. His big 3, Redick, Ewing, and Williams have to play well, have to play great every game, but they don't have any chance. Dowdell drops the jumper down.
Well, they did play great tonight. They played very, very well, and it really helps when a guy like Sean Dockery can step up and score 15.
Now, Coach K said after the Maryland game they didn't have the attitude. They needed the edge. Okay, Coach, what do you think? Give us a little grade on it after a performance we've seen so far tonight with 3:50 left. So they got the attitude and the edge back? We'll find out. 3:50 to play in the ball game. 93-58, the number 2 team in the country with a comfortable advantage.
Following the action of Duke basketball.
Red Greenberg's taken over for his brother Seth Greenberg, 93-58. Duke leading it by 25. Here's the Harley-Davidson ACC standings. And we're going to go ahead and give Duke this win tonight. They would keep pace with North Carolina at 6-1. Wake Forest just a game behind. But keep an eye on Maryland. Virginia Tech will fall to 4-3 as Coleman Collins with the emphatic slam. One thing, though, if you're going to look at this game and say, well, wait a minute, Duke's done all these things great. One thing they haven't done, block shots tonight.
It's interesting. They have not been credited with any block shots tonight. And they come in as the ACC leader in block shots, blocking almost 8 shots a game. The Blue Devils, however, only 1 turnover in the second half. Turnovers plagued them a little bit in the first half. They had 8.
Boy, you keep under double digits in turnovers, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
Particularly when you're scoring 93 points and still got 3 minutes left in the game.
4 on the shot clock. Ewing can't get it to fall. Johnson another rebound. Back to Ewing. And open scoop. For Ewing in the game.
Well, and what we're seeing right now is after that drive to the basket where Ewing goes down hard. Watch Ewing come in here, drives to the goal, and he goes down hard. That is a great shot, but Mike Krzyzewski's got a sub coming in for Daniel Ewing right now. This game has been very physical. A lot of guys going down, so it's time to get Ewing out of there.
And he misses the free throw, so he'll stay in.
And Patrick Davidson sitting at the scorer's table waiting to come in for Ewing. Don't want anybody hurt if you're Duke at this point in this game.
Right. Dowdell with a rebound. Comes out of the pack with it, flirts the left-hander again. No. Rebound, Duke. Melchione in traffic, trying to do something with it, gets it to Dockery. 2.5 to play in the ball game. 35-point Duke lead. Mike Krzyzewski's just going to call the timeout to make sure he gets this substitution. Let's send it down to Krista Voda. Krista.
Hey guys, yeah, Daniel Ewing, 17 points tonight. He also has a whole lot of W's. In fact, he's been a part of more wins for a team than any other player in Division I, active player in Division I ball. You know, Daniel Ewing also leads his team in assists and steals. He doesn't get the publicity of a Sheldon Williams or a J.J. Redick, but Coach K and his teammates know he is just as important to the wins and the performance of this Duke Blue Devils team.
Chris, you're absolutely right. In fact, at the beginning of the year, Coach K was talking about how he has to be the leader of this team. That's going to be an offensive foul. We'll go the other way with it. Not bad, though, when your role models are Grant Hill and Ray Allen. Good guys.
Ron, you were asking a question about whether or not Duke has the edge back. There's a lot of people around the league who would ask the question if they'd ever lost it.
Right.
Yeah, I know they weren't happy with the way they played against Maryland, but, you know, Maryland gives scholarships and they practice too. They've got some pretty good guys. But if the edge was lost, I think you'd have to say that it is at least partially back. This is a Duke team that has battled all night long. Each aspect of the game, each moment of the game hasn't been real pretty all the time.
That's right.
But Duke has really battled out there, and you have to battle against this Virginia Tech team that still is fighting, even though they're way down.
You're absolutely right. You've got to give Maryland credit for that victory. Gary Williams' squad did an outstanding job. Nick Medley was fabulous in that contest. Got to give him a little bit of credit. Davidson is going to be fouled on the play. Patrick Davidson, the sophomore out of Melbourne, Arkansas. As we take a look at Duke's regular season, how it's going to wind up.
And why is it important to have the edge? Well, look at this right here. You've got 3 games coming up against 3 ranked teams. And, of course, this North Carolina game, the big one, that's the one that Krista was talking about with all the kids camped out. But you still got to go to Maryland to play, and Maryland beat you here. So that is not an easy path for the Duke Blue Devils, and that's why Mike Krzyzewski was so worried about them losing the edge, because they need it.
Well, Patrick Davidson now 3 of 3 this year is from the line as Coach Krzyzewski will clean off his bench.
Again, Dockery just had an outstanding game for the Blue Devils tonight. When they put him in double figures along with the big 3 in double figures, we said they're going to score a lot of points and they're going to be hard to catch.
Patrick Davidson, the homecoming king of Melbourne, Arkansas. Of course, his senior class consists of 35 kids. Harris from the outside, and he drains the three. Mark Cook, I should say. Marquette Cook with a three-pointer. 60 seconds left, but it's a 34-point Duke advantage. Davidson. Nelson. One of the few players still in there. Nelson trying to work. Takes the big step, the scoop with the left hand. Gets his own rebound. Tries it again with a right hand counter.
Ron, this game is ending the way it started with Duke on the attack. DeMarcus Nelson driving to the basket. We had made a lot of comments about the free throw situation, the foul situation, but one of the reasons that Duke draws a lot of fouls against the opposition is that they attack, and that's the way they started the game, and that's the way they're finishing the game.
Most free throw attempts in a game since 1998. 48 free throw attempts for Duke tonight. They've made 29 of them. Both coaches making substitutions. Here are the numbers tonight. Plus 27 on the free throw side for Duke. They're plus 82 for the whole season coming into the game. Yes, the rim is round. 100 points for Duke. They'll go to 15-1, 6-1 in conference play. Virginia Tech will have their 5-game overall win streak snapped, 4 conference game win streak snapped.
Now, Ron, one thing you have to say, it has been a tough weekend for Virginia schools against schools from 9 miles apart down here, from Durham and Chapel Hill.
But Virginia Tech has to regroup. There's still a lot of basketball. They were picked 10th in the preseason poll. A lot of people didn't think they'd win 4 games. This is what they have left.
And this is a Virginia Tech team. It's important that they bounce back. They were on that little streak, but this is a team that's a young team, and it's a challenge for Seth Greenberg and his staff to convince them that they came down here and they didn't play well, but they played hard. And there's a lot of teams that come in here over the years, that have come in here over the years, that will come in here in the future and get their heads handed to them. And that's what's happened to Virginia Tech tonight.
Well, final 18 seconds, but it was a big night for Sheldon Williams. Had the double-double in the opening half. Virginia Tech with Coleman Collins, their big star in the front line. Got in foul trouble early. Williams had his way, set the tone for the rest of the game.
Wow, Collins was in foul trouble. Dixon was in foul trouble. Gordon was in foul trouble. You just can't do that on the road, particularly at Duke.
And that's the way it'll end up. Duke wins at the final 100-65. We'll be back on Sunday Night Hoops next Sunday afternoon when number 3 North Carolina travels to Tallahassee to take on Florida State. All the action begins at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific on our tip-off show. For Dan Bonner, Chris Devoda, I'm Ron Thulin saying good night from Durham, North Carolina.